Good morning, guys. Gonna do a little spirit box session today. I was traveling the back roads doing photography the other day, and I came across a road which I've never been down, but I knew that there was a cemetery there that had family members, or possibly family members. While I was there walking around looking at all the graves, I noticed a lot of names. I was surprised there are Reeds in there.
I have never been here. I don't know what guided me up here. I was just driving aimlessly down the back roads, and then I realized, wait a minute, I've never been on this road. I've never been to this cemetery, and it's right there. Let's check this out. Well, I'll have to ask my mother because I don't recognize either of these names, John and Sarah. I'm sure they're family.
The family I was looking for was on my mom's side. My grandmother was raised by her grandparents who were Dailies, and I did find a Daily grave in that cemetery. I talked to my mom this morning to verify.
Hello.
Hey, I just have a quick question. I was in the Feronia Cemetery the other day looking for Dailies. Who were John and Sarah Daly? Were they related?
I think that was Grandpa's brother.
Okay, so that would be Grandma's uncle.
Yeah. No, that would be her great uncle.
Okay, so Daly. Okay, John and his wife Sarah. They
Yeah,
were both
I remember-
80 some years old and died in 1941 and 54.
Great Grandpa Daly and Grandma Wilhelmina and Hugh, they were both born in 1884. I know that.
Have you ever been in the Feronia Cemetery?
Yes, I stopped last fall. I've been in there before. There's probably about, maybe 30 or 40 graves, maybe.
Well, there was about, I'd say 18 or 20 with headstones. There was fresh snow, so I'm assuming there's a bunch of flat ones in there that I couldn't
There's
see
some,
because
yeah.
of the snow. So I've got their names. I don't want to say any of their names because we're going to do the spirit box session. But I also found, and Angie was telling me, this was kind of strange how it happened. She said, look for this person. She said their name. And then she proceeded to tell me the story. And I said, I don't have to look for that person. I was standing on that person's grave when she mentioned that to me. And I can't go into detail now because I don't want to... You guys think that this spirit box listens to me. I will explain it after we ask some questions here. I'll put his name up on the screen right here, and that's where we're going to start this session. Okay, so we're going to run our speaker here through the phone. Okay, so we're going to start with the first question. I am looking at the grave of somebody in my family who lived 1920 to 1938. Can you come through and say your name? Okay, so I thought I heard fall and wet, but I didn't hear the person's name. So yes, please tell us what happened to you. You were 18 years old. Fish on. Oh, full shiver down the back of my neck right there. Okay, editing Gary, and I'm just going to interject here. Now, when Angie told me that Erwin died on Coco Lake, I just had a feeling it was a canoe accident. You know, just That's just kind of what played in my head. And just, when somebody tells you a story, you envision what happened. And that was a canoe accident. Now I'm beginning to wonder what we can piece together out of this. What they're telling me here, it says they were sitting, there was a fish on, I slipped, it says icy, and I believe it said something about snow. It's snowing.
Hello?
Hello, just a quick question. I did a session here on Irwin Buckley, and I wanted to know if you knew how he drowned in Coco Lake.
Going on a hunting trip with another fella. I think his name was Roush.
Okay.
And they were going up duck hunting or something, I heard.
All right, well, good to know then.
As far as I know, that's what it is, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, but
thank you, bye.
Well, according to Dad, this did happen in the fall because duck season is in the fall. So we're guys up there hunting and fishing along the way as they went, and he slipped and fell in icy conditions out of the canoe. That's what the spirit box is telling us, and my dad has confirmed that it was that time of year where that could have happened.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next grave family members I was looking for. And I was looking for my great-great-grandparents, but apparently, I talked to my mom this morning, they're not buried in that cemetery. They're buried somewhere else. But my great-great-grandfather's brother was buried. And I'm now looking at their tombstone. So these would be my great-great-great aunt and uncle. 3 greats there, okay? Because it was my grandmother's great aunt and uncle. She was raised by her grandparents, and his brother just lived down the road. So can you come through and say your name? Can my great-great-great aunt come through and maybe say her name? Okay, so today we're talking about my mother's side of the family, and therefore my grandmother, Grandma Marion. Since we're talking about your family, do you want to come through and say anything, Grandma?
Okay, so the first thing you need to know about my grandma was she didn't like cameras. She would go, "Oh no!" Every time you bring out a camera, she wanted nothing to do with that. And I said, "Grandma, do you want to come through and talk?" The first response I get is, "No, thanks." And that would have been my grandmother to a T. Yep, didn't want anything to do with cameras. Let's see if anything else comes through.
I heard Mike, that was her husband, my grandfather. Grandma, once in a very vivid / lucid dream, you told me the meaning of life. Can you share? Full shiver down the back of my neck. I heard it say, "Be you." I may have heard ice cream, which is what she said in the dream. We were on a paddle boat, which was the strangest thing. We were going down the Mississippi. I knew that. And Grandma looked young in her 30s. She was on a sun chair. And I was sitting beside her. I said, "Grandma, what's the meaning of life?" And she said, "You already know, dear." She said, "It's love, be yourself, enjoy what you have, and strawberry ice cream." Grandma, Papa Mike spread your ashes with your first daughter, Debbie, who only lived 1 day. Did that make you happy? I swear that said Debbie, and that would have been my aunt's name, but she only lived one day. I was gonna just go off script here, full shiver. Debbie, do you want to come through and say something? Do any other ancestors or family members that were in that cemetery want to come through and give us a message? That was a man's voice that came through and said nagged. Was that John? Did Sarah nag you? I'm sure she loved you. I think that side of my family was very loving to each other. Do you guys like it when I come and visit you guys at the cemeteries where you're buried? Because I've never been to the other cemetery where great-great-grandma and grandpa are buried. I could go visit them. Would they like that? That said my name, then that said my brother's name. And I got a full shiver down the back of my neck, and I believe it said you must come visit. Something like that before. Absolutely, I will do that. I think maybe I'll get my mom, and mom loves old cemeteries and graveyards as well. She'll even go to ones as she's driving along if she sees one. She just pulls in and she likes to walk through and she talks to the folks that are there. You know, she told me she likes looking at the old graves with the children, and I don't know if she has conversations in her head or is that strange? And maybe that's where I get my love of old cemeteries, because I do the same thing. And it's not something that mom and I have ever done together. But I asked her one day when we lived in Sudbury, I found a really old cemetery, like 1800s, and I wandered through and I said to my mom, wow, I found this really cool cemetery. She said, I know, I've been through it many times. So kind of cool, I guess. It doesn't bother me. Some people think, oh, you know, you bring something bad home with you. I don't think so, right? These are places where loved ones and family members are buried. So I don't worry about any of that stuff. I think that's a bit of superstitious nonsense. But anyway, that's it. I've got a lot of analyzing to do.